Deal.
Yaakov, did your guests arrive yet?
One of them did. We're ready to roll.
That's the one's on a date.
Liner's on a
Liner's here.
Liner's on a date?
No, Liner's here.
That guy.
All right, ready to roll. Okay, here we go. Chazara from yesterday.
what you say. Well,
Okay, Davening Gimel, yeah? So first we said on the bottom, Nun Beis Hamikdash Beis, we said no fire of someone from a goy. Then we said the fire needs to be a kosher fire, meaning it can't be, no malachas Shabbos can be done with it. Then we said you can't use the fire from a goy. Light, if there's light from a city, you don't know who the occupants are. So as long as it's half-half, you'd be allowed to use it. But if it's most goyim, then you would not be allowed to use the light from there. If you find a kid carrying a fire, so you can assume that he's Jewish, then a fire from an oven and all those type of things. Basically, the rule is that if the light was lit in order to give light, if the fire was lit in order to give light, then you're going to be able to use it for Havdalah. But if not, then you can't. Saying that we're using a light from a shul. Then we had a machlokes whether each person should make their own Havdalah, or should one person have everybody in mind. And we said we paskin, then one person should have everybody in mind. And we said no saying gesundheit or anything like that while learning. And no bracha on psamim, that's only there to remove smell. You only make a bracha on psamim if it's there to make something smell good. That was on Amud Aleph. Amud Beis is machlokes, you have to actually benefit from the fire or just have the ability to benefit. And then we said there's no requirement to chase after a candle for Havdalah. So if you're someplace and there's no Havdalah candle and you're not sure where you can get one, so then just make Havdalah without it. And if you get the fire later, then you make it in that and make it later, but no fire on Sunday. Then we said if a person purposely leaves without saying birchas hamazon, then even according to Beis Hillel, he has to go back to his original place. And then we said the amount of time you have to say birchas hamazon is basically, as long as you feel full, you're still allowed to bench, even if it's a couple hours later. Then we had a disagreement whether it's better to be the one making the bracha or is it better to answer amen. And then we said no answering amen to children except for when they lay in the haftarah. And then we said the source from Mayim Achrayim, to which we said Tosfos says that nowadays that we don't have salty foods, so many ikr, then you don't need Mayim Achrayim. Fine, that's the new. Now we go to the new parak. Okay.
Do you have your phone, Yaakov?
Oh yeah. Somebody just texted that he tried coming to the minyan in the Young Israel this week. He wants to know if it's still in existence somewhere. Somebody just texted it right now. We'll have to get back to him on that one. All right.
Well, tell us how the phone call with Rabbi Chill went yesterday, and we'll let him know.
I didn't end up speaking to him.
I was going to tell him to give him Rabbi Chill's number and ask him.
Yeah. All right, enough of that. I just figured that somebody just texted that. So, okay. Haroya Makam, yes, up to Mishnah. It's a big Mishnah. Big Mishnah. The Mishnah has a lot of things that's negeya, but and then we get into these wild Gemaras. So Mishnah ends a little bit more than halfway down.
Oh, right. Well.
Okay, so Haroya Makam Shanasa by Nisim Yisroel. If somebody sees a place that miracles were done for klal Yisroel, Amir Baruch Shas Nisim Lavzenu b'Makam Hazeh. You make this bracha that Hashem made Nisim to our forefathers in this place. Makom shenekru mimenu akum. Baruch she'akar akum me'artzenu. If a guy was uprooted from there, meaning we took over the goyim's place, then you say, blessed is that Hashem uprooted these goyim from our place.
For how long?
What do you mean, how long?
We already saw you uprooted them. Do you still make the bracha?
What does that mean? Huh?
He uprooted Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah, so that's right. So that look, Tosfos says, right? The Yerushalmi says that it means when the goyim are totally uprooted from Eretz Yisrael. Okay, which I guess is not now. That's for sure, right? Okay. Ala zikin, vala zavois, vala raimim, vala ruchos, vala brokim. So basically, this is shooting stars and lightning, thunder, major wind, And did we cover all of them there? Right. The Gemara is going to go through exactly what each one of these things are. Anyways, right. Baruch shekachuk v'rasim alei olam. Right. As most are familiar with this bracha, right? That is blessed is that Hashem that is koyach and his gvura fills the whole world. Ar horim v'ala gvois, on mountains and valleys, v'ala yamim v'ala naharis, and on rivers, oceans and rivers, v'ala midbaris, and what's a midbar again? Desert, thank you. I'm very tired. I'm a Baruch Isa Berachos. You say Baruch Isa Maisa Berachos, right? You change it to Maisa Berachos. If you see the Yam Gadol, I'm a Baruch Sha'asa Yam Gadol. Yeah, you make the bracha that he made the Yam Gadol. Bisman Shareil the Prokim. If you see it sometimes, Al Gshamim, Al Besuras Taivas, on rain and on good news. I'm a Baruch Hatayva Meitiv. It's that that we saw that before, that we're thanking Hashem for the good and that he even does even better. Al Basura is rice on bad news. I'm Baruch Dayan Ha'emes. Again, what it's saying here, Baruch, but what it means, Taisus points out, is it means with Hashem's name. Don't think you just say Baruch. The reason why we say Baruch Dayan Ha'emes when we hear bad news is only because it's not a relative. If it's a relative, one of the 7 relatives, then when they tear Kriya, they say with Hashem's name. Just everybody else just says Baruch Dayan Ha'emes. But most of these brachas you should be saying with Hashem's name. If you build a new house, and you bought new, or if you bought new clothing, you make the bracha on bad just like you make on the good, and on the good just like on the bad. We'll see in the Gemara. Most of all this we'll see in the Gemara exactly what they mean. This is a famous famous Mishna here. This part, if you cry about something that already passed, then that's a tefillah shav. What are some examples? Let's say your wife is pregnant, and you say it should be Hashem's will that my wife should have a baby boy. I raise a tefillah shav. That's a meaningless tefillah because it's too late. If you're coming home from the way, from traveling, and you hear crying out in the city, let it be Hashem's will that that's not my house that they're screaming. That's tefillah shav also. Why? Because what happened. Meaning somebody's house already, something happened to it. You're just making a tefillah that's already too late. If you go into a city, you say 2 brachas. You say 2 tefillahs. One when you're coming into the city, and one when you're leaving the city. Meaning this is obviously be a city that there is some sort of danger. You make 4 brachas. 2 on the way in, 2 on the way out. Yeah? Nice and high. Well, again, we'll see this all in the Gemara. Nice and not tonight, obviously. Nice and high. You give thanks for what passed, and you cry out what's going to be for the future. Right? You don't cry out on the past. And you obviously can't give thanks for the future. You have to make bracha on the bad things just like you make bracha on the good things. Right? You should love Hashem with b'chol levavcha, b'chol nafsha, b'chol midecha. B'chol levavcha, what does b'chol levavcha mean? B'shnei yitzrecha, with your 2 desires. Yetzer tov, yetzer hara. That's what you have to love Hashem with. B'chol nafsha, afilu hu naitalos nafshcha. You have to love Hashem with your whole nefesh, meaning even if for some reason you have to give up your life, you still have to love Hashem. B'chol midecha, b'chol mamayincha means with all your money. Right? Right? With every midah, whatever type of midah, whatever you have, you should thank Hashem for it. Yeah? Fine. That's the end of that section of the Mishnah. Then, you should not have kalas roish. You shouldn't act like a fool or just have levity opposite the eastern gate that's in opposite the Beis Kadosh, right? Because the gates, basically, when you're by the eastern gate, right, you're basically have a straight view straight into the Kodesh HaKadoshim. So even though you're far removed from the Kodesh HaKadoshim, you shouldn't make latzanas. Right? You should not go into the habayis with your stick, and shoes, and your wallet or whatever, your bags, and with dirt on your feet. And urakika, and you shouldn't make a shortcut, meaning you don't cut across the Beis Hamikdash in order to get through to make a shortcut. And no spitting. And meaning spitting is a kal v'chomer. If you can't make a shortcut, then for sure you shouldn't spit. All right, we'll see.
Is that why we don't pass through a Beis Hamikdash?
Yes, 100%, Yosef. That's
Uh-huh.
why we don't pass through a Beis Hamikdash. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Now this next thing is also interesting. Kol chayz me brachos shebemikdash hayu oimrim ad ha'olam. All brachas, the way they finished off brachas in the Beis Hamikdash was with the words ad ha'olam, until forever. Okay, which basically means, and Rashi, if you look to the Rashi directly to the right, there was no amen said in the Mikdash, right? We'll learn this out from Sukkim, but they never said the word amen in the Beis Hamikdash, right? And the way the brachas was said was Baruch atah Hashem Elikei Yisroel min ha'olam v'ad ha'olam Baruch Chaynin Hadas. That's the way every bracha Shmones was. Yeah, you got it on the end of the Shmones. It said Baruch atah Hashem Chaynin Hadas. It was Baruch atah Hashem Elikei Yisroel min ha'olam v'ad ha'olam Baruch Chaynin Hadas. Right, and everybody, instead of saying amen, said Baruch Shem K'vod Machosei L'olam V'ed. That's the way it was. Okay, I don't know if that means that's mashma from this Rashi that they daven Shmones in the Beis Hamikdash. Right, but whatever it is, originally in the Beis Hamikdash they didn't have all that. They just said Ad Ha'olam Mishakilkul Tzedukim. But once the Tzedukim destroyed things, V'amru Ein Ha'olam Ela Echad, that there aren't two worlds, meaning Ad Ha'olam means until the next world. And the Tzedukim came along and said there's only one world, not the next world. So therefore, it's just saying Ad Ha'olam doesn't work anymore. So Hiskinu Sheya Aimrim Min Ha'olam V'Ad Ha'olam. That was the takana. Hiskinu Sheya Adam Shayel Shalom Chavera B'Shem. And you could also, they also want to say that you're allowed to ask how your friend is doing with using Hashem's name. Shenemer B'nai Boaz Bami Beis Lechem. Boaz came from Beis Lechem. V'Yomer L'Koitzim Hashem Imochem. V'Yomer Lo Yivarach Hashem. So he said Hashem is with you, meaning he used Hashem's name to ask them how they are, which that is using Hashem's name in vain. But the Mishna is saying that they were saying that you can use Hashem's name. V'Omer Hashem Imcha Gibor Achayil. V'Omer Al Tavos Ki Zikna Imecha. V'Omer Eis Lasas Hashem. It's a time to do for Hashem, and because they're removing themselves from your Torah. So for whatever reason, they felt that it was necessary to use Hashem's name to ask people how they were doing. Right? And Reb Nosson Eimer says, what do you learn from Eis Lasas Hashem Heferos Sarasecha? Meaning, the translation of Eis Lasas Hashem Heferos Sarasecha is it's a time to do for Hashem because people are turning away the Torah. And Reb Nosson is going to say pshat the other way. Reb Nosson Eimer Heferos Sarasecha, you can remove a little bit of the Torah mishum Eis Lasas Hashem. Meaning, if the Chacham decided that there was something required to change some halacha in the Torah, obviously it has its limits, then you would be able to do that, which is what they did here. They allowed people to use Hashem's name to say hello to each other. I imagine they needed it for peaceful times. Yeah. Okay. That's the Mishnah. Talking about how do you know that you have to make a bracha on Nisan? Right? So Yisroel said, Baruch Hashem, praise Hashem that He saved us, right? That He saved Klal Yisrael. So the Gemara says, Anisa the Rabbim Barchinan, Anisa the Yachid Lema Barchinan. Do you only make a bracha on Nisan that happened to Klal Yisrael, but not on private Nisan, right? Because the Mishnah only brings examples of Nisan that happened to Klal Yisrael, right? I mean, it doesn't bring examples. It just says Nisan Klal, so it doesn't say anything about private.
Right, okay.
Yeah, Anisa the Rambam. What's it called?
I was just thinking, I didn't remember any examples.
Yeah, because the Gemara is going to bring Anisa the Rambam Marchina and Anisa the Yachid Lema Marchina. We only make a bracha on Nisan that happened to everybody, but not onto personal Nisan. V'hahu gavra dahavaka ozol be'ever yamina. There was a person that was traveling in Ever Yamina. That was the name of the place. Nafal aleh aryeh, and a lion fell on him. Okay, I guess that means that a lion attacked him. And there happened to be a nace, and he got saved from it. Also, look at the Rav. He came in front of Rav of Amalei. Called Amos the Matis loss. And whenever you get to that place where the miracle happened, so you have to make the bracha that Hashem made an ace to me in this place. Marbre the Ravina have another example. Have a cause of a Pixar the Arvus. He was going in Pixar the Arvus, right? This is the name of a place. And he was very thirsty for water. And it happened in Nace Ibrile Aina Damaya Ishti. And then it was obviously a place where there was no streams or no water, and a nace happened, and a stream just suddenly appeared, and he drank. The Sudzim, and then another time, he was going in the shuk of Mechuzah, in the streets of Mechuzah, gamla pritza, and a nut, a meshuga. Rashi says a camel that's meshuga, right? So it was obviously attacking him. A sparkle ashisa, and the wall of the house that he was next to broke down. And he went into the house. So Kimot Arvis, when he got to Arvis, Baruch Shasali Nes Arvis over Gomel, yeah. And Kimot Resik the Mechuzah Baruch Shasali Nes Gomel over Arvis, right? Meaning, so what it's saying here is that he had two nisim happen to him, so in two different places. So when he went to the place that the well suddenly appeared, not only did he make a bracha on that, he also added the nace, the gomel, the camel nace, even though that wasn't the place that the camel nace happened. And whenever he went to the camel place, he made the bracha on the camel and on the water, right? And that's the way we paskin, that if you're going to make a bracha on a nace, and then you add all the nisim that have happened to you. Yeah?
Without Hashem's name, you're saying?
No, these are with Hashem's name. The Gemara is just not saying it. Yeah? Anyway, whatever it is, you see from this that clearly you're supposed to make a bracha on a private miracle, not just on miracles that happen to klal. So, Amrei, so we answer, Anisa the Rabbin, Kuli Am Mechayev Lebruche. On a nace that happens to the public, to the majority, so then everybody's chayev. Anisa the Yachid, Chayev, Ihu Chayev Lebruche. He himself is chayev, but nobody else is chayev. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fine. Tanarabanan. Haroyim ma'avris. Here are the examples. Haroyim ma'avris hayam. If you see the place where they pass through the water, the Yamsuf, ma'avris hayarden, and where they pass through the Jordan River, ma'avris nachale Arnon, and nachale Arnon avnei algavish. And the Gemara is going to say what these things are. The stones of algavish, b'mayra Beis Chayron, when going down to Beis Chayron. The Evan Shebikash Lizroik hagomel chaboshen al yisroel, and the stone that hagomel chaboshen wanted to throw on klal Yisrael. The Evan Sheyosho al Moshe b'shashosa Yeshua Melchama b'Amalek, and the stone that Moshe Rabbeinu sat on when they were trying to do war with Amalek. The Ishtay Shaloi, and you see Lot's wife. The Chaimas Yericha, in the walls of Jericho, Shenivla b'Mekayma, and that got absorbed. They went down into the floor. Al Kulan Tzarach Sheyitin Haydav v'Shevach l'fnei Amakim. On all these things, you have to give praise and thank Hashem. So fine. So right. So there is clearly a nace because it says the bnei Yisrael went into the water and it was dry. Right. So there also it's saying that they went in and it was dry for them and they were able to get to the other side of the dry land before the goyim got there. How about crossing over the Nachal of Arnon? Okay, so it says Eis V'Hei B'Sufa. Now, what does that mean? Tana Es V'Hei B'Sufa. What is this? Shnei Mitzrayim Hayu. There were two people that had tzaras. They were traveling at the end of the Machane Yisrael because they had tzaras, so they couldn't be with the rest of Klal Yisrael. When Klal Yisrael was traveling, also Amayri, right? The two Amayrim, the goyim came, right? Of the Lahain Nikirusa, they made a what do you call it? A ma'ara, a cave. They made a cave, right? With tashu behind, and they hid in it. Amri ki chav Yisrael hacha naktalinon. When Klal Yisrael passes through it, we're going to kill him, right? They made a cave to ambush Klal Yisrael. V'lo have a yodi the Aron have a miske kamayir the Yisrael. They didn't know that the Aron Kodesh was traveling in front of Klal Yisrael. V'have a mamichlu ture mekamayim. Basically, what the Aron did was it flattened all the mountains as it walked along, so that Klal Yisrael would not have to travel up and down mountains. So the Aron came and just did flattening of the mountains. Kimat asa Aron. Since the Aron came, advaku ture b'hadi adadi. The two mountains came together. The Katlinon, right, because it was bulldozed basically. The Katlinon, and it killed them. The Nochas demayu lenachli Arnon, and their blood traveled down to Nachli Arnon. Ki also esvahev chazu dama the kanafik mibeni turi. So when this esvahev came along, because they had saras, and they saw the blood coming up from the mountains. Also, V'amru Yisrael, they went and they told it to Klal Yisrael, V'amru Shira, and that's the Shira that they said on Nachalei Arnon. Right?
And they weren't tummy Klal Yisrael for walking on this?
I don't know if they walked on it. They just. Okay, so that's what that pasuk is. That's fine. Avnei al-gavish, my avnei al-gavish. What are the stones of al-gavish? Ton avanim shamdu al-gav ish, v'yardu al-gavish. These are stones that stood on top of a man and went on top of a man. Amdu al-gav ish zeh Moshe. Which person was it that the stones stood up for? That was Moshe. The ksiva ish Moshe anav ma'id. Moshe was very humble. Uksiva yetlu ha-koilis v'abarad humata lo nitach arza. The kailos and the barod, right? What do you call it? That the makas barod stopped in the air. What?
The hill.
The hail, yeah. And it didn't even hit the ground. Meaning, once Moshe davened that the barod should stop, the barod stopped midair and didn't damage anybody. So that's what it means that stones on above. Those were stones above. Yardu al gav ish is a Yeshua, and they went on top of a person. That's Yeshua. The siv kach leches Yeshua benun ish asher ruach vay. He said, go take Yeshua ben Nun, that he has the Ruach of Hashem, of the Ruach HaKodesh. Uksiv, Vahi b'naisim b'nei b'nei Yisrael, heim b'mayred beis chayrin, v'Hashem hishtel chaleim avanim gedolos. And Hashem sent on top of the goyim avanim, big, large stones. So that was on behalf of, so that's a place where stones did hit the intended target. So again, for Moshe, he stopped them, and for Yeshua, it went down onto them. Fine. The stone that Oig Melech HaBashan wanted to throw on Klal Yisrael it's Gemara Gmirba, meaning it was something that was handed down, the story of what that was. That's a very interesting story. Amar Machane Yisrael Kamahavi. So Oig Melech HaBashan said to himself, how big is the whole camp of Klal Yisrael? Havi Tlasa Parsi, that's 3 parsos. Ezel V'yakar Tura Bar Tlasa Parsi. So I'm going to go uproot a mountain that's 3 parses wide. Ishti alayu, and I'm going to throw it on top of the whole Jewish camp. Faktalinu, and I'm going to kill all Klal Yisrael. That's what Oig Melech HaBashan said. That was his plan. Also, Okartura, he went and he lifted up the mountain. Now he's carrying the mountain on top of his head. Bartolasa Parsi, that's 3 parsos large, but big. Va'isi al Resha, and he put it on his head. Va'isi kutsha berichu alei kamtzi. So Hashem brought ants, right? Ants to come, v'nokvu, and they made a hole in the mountain, v'nochis b'tzavari, and basically it made it fall down on top of his head. So now he basically had a ring, a necklace of a mountain around his head, because it chiseled a hole in it for his head to fall through, and it fell down on top of his head, right? So it's like a necklace now. So he wanted to take it off. His teeth grew and went into this side and to that side, and he wasn't able to slip it off because his teeth got stuck in the stones of the mountain. And that's what it means that 2 Rishayim were broken. Because Rav Shimon ben Lakish, and it's like what Rav Shimon ben Lakish said, the teeth. I'm sorry, I said Shnei Rishayim. I said Shinei Rishayim Shivarta. The teeth of Rishayim you broke. I'll take a Shivarta Elas Sherubavas, right? Which means it's Ishtarve, meaning they grew and they went down, meaning so the teeth grew and they embedded into the stone. Yeah, fine. So Moshe Kamahava, the story's not over yet. Moshe Kamahava, how tall was Moshe? Eser Amos. Moshe was 10 Amos tall, right? Shokil Narga Bar Eser Amin. he took a axe that was 10 amas long, shavar, he jumped Eser Amin, and he jumped 10 amas, umichya b'krasule, and then he was able to swing and hit the ankle of Oigmel Chavashon, the katle, and that killed him. Okay? End of that story. I don't know what the deal is with that story, but the Kitzur Amaisa, if you went to the place that this story happened, where Oigmel Chavashon was killed, then you make a bracha. Okay? Fine. And the stone that Moshe sat on, Moshe's hands were, again, Moshe, when he held up his hands, the Yidden did well. When he put it down, they didn't do well. So he held up his arms, but he got tired. So and they put stones under his arms so that his arms were able to stay up, right? Perhaps that's not the song of the daf, right? That's not it. We're going to have a song of the daf yet, but that's not it yet. But you could theoretically say that, right? And Light's wife.
What's this happening in the background?
Oh, that's my cup. I'm sorry. Yeah. And she, of course, like every kid knows about this, right? Light's wife turned backwards. She turned into a pile of salt. The Chaimas Yerichoi, Shenivla, and the wall of Yerichoi that
when you see that
the Gemara is going to talk about it. Chaimas Yerichoi Shenivla, and the wall of Yerichoi that got swallowed. The Siba Tipa the Chaima Tachtea, and the Chaima fell down. Bishlam Akulu Nisa. Granted, all of these they were miracles. Whatever these miracles were, but they were miracles. Ella Ishta Shalait Puranasahu. But for Ishta Shalait that she died like that, that's not a miracle. That's a pain. That's a bad thing that she turned into a thing of salt. So really you should say Baruch Dayan Emes v'Haida v'Shevach Katani, but it says it's Haida and a Shevach. Yeah, so Tani al Light v'Alishta mevarchin shtayim. So therefore, really, what it is, and on Light and his wife, you have to make two brachos. Al Ishta yaimer Baruch Dayan Emes. On his wife, you say Baruch Dayan Emes. V'Light amer Baruch Zaycheres Tzadikim. Praise this is the person who remembers Tzadikim, and that's why Light was saved because of his tzidkas. Yeah. Even when Hashem is mad, which he was by Sedoim, he still remembers the tzaddikim. He remembered Avram, and for Avram's relative Light, and he saved Avram's relative, even though he was in a very not happy. He was very unhappy at that point. Hashem still remembered the tzaddikim. Okay, the walls of Yerichai that fell into the ground. Did they really get absorbed into the ground? They fell down, the walls. When the nation heard the shofar, they heard a blow of the shofar. And the wall fell down. Right? So what are you saying, that the wall got swallowed up by the ground? It didn't get swallowed up by the ground. It fell down. So Gemara answers, since the width and the height of the wall was exactly the same, that's why it was swallowed up by the ground. Meaning, if the wall falls down and the width is the same as the height, then you have no idea that the wall fell down. Right? It's a square. The wall is a square. So it's the same way. When it falls down, it's the same height. Right? So therefore, it doesn't mean that it fell down. It means that it got swallowed up by the ground.
How could a square fall? Just turn sideways.
What?
Right.
That's what it is. So therefore, it got swallowed into the ground, didn't fall down. Fine. Amar Rav Yehuda. Okay, now a new sugya shtickle that's very negay. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. Arba tzrichan lahoidas. There are 4 people that have to give thanks to Hashem. Right? Yardei Hayam, those that go travel overseas. Holchei Midbaris, those that go in deserts. Umishu Chaylas ibn Israfin, somebody who got sick and gets better. Umisha Yechavish Beis Asurim, somebody who's thrown into jail. The Yatza and calls out. Yardei Hayam in Alan, how do you know Yardei Hayam? Tichsiv Yardei Hayam, and has a lot of psukim. Yardei Hayam Ba'aniyas, Hemaro, Masei Hashem, Vaimer V'yamed Ruach Sa'ara, Yalu Shemayim, Yerdu Tahaimis, Vaimer Yechaygo V'yanu, Kashikler, Vaimer V'yitzakar Hashem, Batzalim V'tzugasem Yatzim, Vaimer Yakim Sa'ara L'dmama, Vaimer Yismachu Ki Yishtaiku, Vaimer Yaidu L'Hashem Chastiv, and the voice of Bnei Adam. There you go. Yeah. So that's how, those are all psukim about being saved from water. Right? So you see that it's Yoidul Hashem Chasdai, you have to thank Hashem for his chesed. And Benefloisav L'nei Adam. Yeah, Holchem mit Boris min all extent. Again, the Gemara goes through the Chsif, Se'u, Babidbar, B'Yishimon, Derech Ir Maishav, Leimatzu, V'yitzakol Hashem, V'yadrichem, V'derech Yisharu, Yoidul Hashem Chasdai. So you see again that you're going through the midbar, these are psukim about going through the midbar, so you also thank Hashem. Misha Cholav in Esrapi, Tichsiv Avilim B'derech Pisham, we are saying Yisanu Kol Eichel T'Sav Nasham, V'yizakol Hashem B'tzal Lahem, Yishnach Tvar V'yarpiyem, Yoidul Hashem Chasdai. Fine. That's somebody who's sick. And if you're in jail, ki himru imrei kel. I take them out from the dark. That's it. Yeah. So that's why those four require you to make birchas hagomel. Now, it's actually machlokes in Shulchan Aruch if it's specifically those four, or for any type of sakana. So the mechaber, who the Sfardim passing like, it's only these four. Even if your life was in a major danger and you survived, and by the way, which is different than the nace, you maybe have to make both brachas, but this is in addition to nace. This is just like if your life was in danger and you escaped, so you make this bracha. But Sfardim hold only these four and nothing else. Like car accident, a Sfardim would not make the bracha. And the truth is, in Shulchan Aruch, it brings both shitas, and the Ramah seems to say also that you should only make on these four. I think it's the Ramah, or is it the Mechaber that says really? But then the Moshe Guru says the minig is that we make brachas on sakonas that happen to us, other sakonas too. But right off the bat, it is a suffix brachas whether we should make these brachas. Right. So my mevarich, what is the bracha? Amar Rabbi Yehuda baruch goyim chasadim tovim. Right. Which is not the bracha. Right. How do we say the bracha? Hagomel chayavim tova shegmani kol tov. Right, so we make it a little different than the way the Gemara says. Yeah. Fine. Habayis Amar b'tzarach laduye kamei asara. You need to do it in front of 10 people. To siva remove a kahal am. You need to do it with a kahila, right? Marzutra Amar v'train minai rabbanon, and 2 of them have to be rabbanon. Shenemar Moshe v'zakenim yalu. And you praise Hashem with zakenim. Zakenim is plural, and zakenim means that Talmid Chacham. That's why the minig is to bench goyim by laning, because by laning, you have at least 10. And when there's 10, the assumption is that there's going to be a couple of them that are going to be zakenim. Maskula Ravashi v'ein b'kulu rabbanon. Maybe they should all be rabbanon. So Gemara says miksib b'kahal zakenim. Doesn't say it should be a kahal of zakenim, but kahal am it says ksiv. So v'ein b'pei asara shar ama u'trei rabbanon. Maybe there should be 10, not 2 Talmid Chacham as part of the 10, but 10 regular people plus 2 Talmid Chacham for a total of 12. Kasha. So it's a kasha. Gemara leaves over that, it's a kasha. Fine. Rabbi Yehuda chalash. Rabbi Yehuda was weak, the atvach, and he got better. Allah gabei Rav Chana begadata v'Rabbanon. And so Rav Chana begadata and Rabbanon came to visit him. Amrilei, they said to him, Berich Rachmana dihaves nehelan Baruch Hashem that he gave you to us. The Yahav Chan Nehalan that you gave you to us, below Yahav Chalafra, and he didn't put you as dirt, meaning that you didn't die. Amrulu, he told him, now that you said this, Patrasun Yasim Milaiduye, you now just made me potter from thanking Hashem. So didn't Abaye say you have to thank in front of 10 people? So how can they make him potter? To have a Bayasara, there were 10 people there. But he didn't say the thanks, right? It was said for him. He didn't need to, because he answered Amen after that. Fine, so that's basically the sugya of birchas hagomel. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, just 2 more lines. Amar Rabbi Yehuda, shleisha tzrichen shimur. There are 3 people that need shimur because of shadim, right? Min hamazikin, Rashi says. Ve'elu hein chayla, a chayla needs shmira. Chasen v'kala needs shmira. V'masnisa tana chayla, right? So chayla, chasen, and kala, those are the 3. V'masnisa tana. Okay, and by the way, that's this whole thing that a chasen and a kala need a shomer. That's where this comes from. But chasen and kala means during Sheva Brachos, not before the chasana. It came a minig that people are maked with the day of the chasana, and some are makar from the Eifrav, but that's all extra stuff. During the during Sheva Brachos itself is when they need Shmira, and the Velt totally messes this up. They make sure the Shmira before the Chazan and during Sheva Brachos, and the Chazan and Kal is supposed to be together, but the Chazan decides to go to Davening, right? He needs a Shomer. You'll see sometimes in Borough Park, you won't ever see a Chazan with a Shtreimel walking himself. There's always a guy walking with him because they need Shmira. Even though nowadays when there's people in the streets, so many say that people in the street is enough of a Shmira. Okay, a chayla, a woman who gives birth, and a chassan a kal.
Hold on. So if the chassan is going to daven, he's leaving the wife alone?
Correct. No, they make somebody go to the wife. That's as far as I know, that's what they do. Unless she's in a house with other people, like it's in an apartment or something like that, then they allow that. So yeshem af avul, yeshem af talmid chachamim b'layla. Even talmid chachamim at night need shmira.
What's the reason for a shomer?
Because of mazikin. Because anybody that's doing something good or that's anybody that's having a change for the good or mitzvahs and all that, so the mazikin don't like it. So we want shmira. All right. Have a good night, folks.
But didn't we say that they Talmidei Chachamim shouldn't go out because of chash of Mishkav Zocher? No.
That not Mishkav Zocher, but other stuff, other Mishkav.
That was the perfume.
But we said that if they have a set time to go out at night, a set place, and people know about it, then that's not a concern. So I guess this is talking about that. But otherwise, it's a good point.
Tzviaka, we can name this stuff the myth busters.
All the myth busters. Yeah, well, that's what Daf Yomi is supposed to do. It's supposed to educate, right?
Right.
I forgot. Are you around the Shabbos?
Bezos Hashem.
I actually remembered.
There you go.
Tzviaka, you have a minute after share?
I actually have a guy that's supposed to come to meet me now, but I guess what you want to discuss that situation?
Yeah, just for 30 seconds.
L'chaim.
Okay,
what situation? Icky, fill us in.
Naftali, you see the car?
I saw the car. Wait a minute, I answered your text.
Yeah. Your car, the one you got into accident with?
No, that's Tzviaka's new car.
Oh,
Wait, I saw
nice.
the text. I answered the text you sent me.
He has it as his background.
I was talking to the other Naftali. I'm talking to the other Naftali.
Not in the video.
Wow.
You will have no problem with
I
parking
think you would
anywhere.
look, you can only fit one homeless person in there.
Is that stick shift?
So many people.
Yes.
Stick shift. Wow.
Yeah.
We don't play games.
Oh, baby.
But only one homeless person will be able to open the door and sleep in there, though.
Naftali, you could fit 9 of you in.